Sesethu Enhle Mboza, a 19-year-old Bachelor of Arts student at Nelson Mandela University, has been laid to rest at her home in Mthatha this morning. Sesethu is believed to have taken her own life moments after she reported being raped. Her heartbroken mother described her as a loving daughter who had a bright future ahead of her. The university is investigating the incident. Newzroom Afrika's Liyema Vumisa joins us live for more. Liyema, good to speak to you this morning. Very, very sad note under which we make contact. Just walk us through, what do we know? What sort of reaction are you getting from family and community members?
Certainly, Hugo, it is a very sad note that we are meeting together with Nombu, as well as we are covering the story then of that tragic passing after she committed suicide following a reported case of rape that she had to endure at the Nelson Mandela University. Now, before you came to us, the mortal remains of Sesethu Enhle Mboza, 19-year-old student, were finally buried at her home here in Mthatha in the Eastern Cape. Of course, you can imagine then the amount of heartbreak the entire family was undergoing, including some of the students who traveled all the way from the region of Gqeberha to here in Mthatha to lay her to her final resting place. But just to elaborate further on the perspective then of the family members and also generally in terms of the support that the family has been receiving, I am joined by a family spokesperson who is also a counsellor. That is Mama Celichane. Thank you very much for your time, Mama. I mean, let's start here. Firstly, this is a very sad story that we are doing in Namhlanje. Perhaps how is the family doing? I understand they could be, facing or they are facing heartbreak.
Enkosi tata, akumandanga kumama nakumakhulu, omalume uyababona ukuba bengotata, uyabona bangathi bomelele, but cousins are breaking down here and there. Ngokuhamba kwexesha ke mhlawumbi bazaba right.
And then let's talk about the preparations leading up to this. I mean, Newzroom Afrika earlier on, we were covering a story of Mama Stolile, the mother of Sesethu, who went to fetch her remains in Port Elizabeth, Gqeberha. Just walk us through the preparations and how that must have been a daunting task for the family.
Tata, umama uyile with few family members. Bancediswa ke with accommodation and everything. Isikolo promised to cover for the funeral costs, even though they did not do as promised, but bancedisile ke. Umama womntwana uyazama, but oyena mntu endibona uxheleke kakhulu umama nomntwana. Isikolo sikhona, isikolo sizikhomitile, sizile ukuzosixhasa ngokwasemphefumlweni. Going forward, ifamily will still need much assistance, kungakumbi umakhulu womntwana.
You talk about assistance. In cases of GBV and in these cases which are quite frankly rampant in this current juncture in the whole of South Africa, you would imagine the amount of emotional support, not only the survivors but also the family members themselves that they would require. Was this provided to your knowledge?
Unfortunately, it was not. We LMs, local municipalities, Kunendo, that has been launched to assist the families of GBV, mainly rapid response teams. Ngamatile ndizamile. Kodwa ke khange bakwazi ukuza. Bathembisile ke ngongenelelo luka mphathiswa umama uFanda ukubana bayawukuza ukuqala kwiveki ezayo, but ndiyafuna ukubalula ukuba uSiyamthanda Ndlela isitshotshovu se-GBV, umama one-NPO around OR Tambo, nguye oye wasinceda waba hands on nokuncedisa ke kwi-departments mna nefamily ebesingakhange sikwazi ukufikelela kuzo, kungakumbi ezi departments zino-social psycho support. Uncedisile kakhulu uSiyamthanda. Siyathemba ke njengoko ubana bathembisile mainly u-social development ubana baza kuyindwendwela ifamily from Monday onwards. Ndiyathemba ke ubana baza kuyenza loo nto yokuthuthuzela ifemeli ngokomphefumlo. Silibale ke ubana ngokomo bekufanele ubana mhlawumbi bazile bavizithela ikhaya kungelishwa ke ubana khange lo service iofarishwe ngabasemagunyeni. Enkosi tata.
And then lastly, or perhaps finally, I mean, the story of the alleged rapist. He was arrested or apprehended by the police. Subsequent to that, he was released on bail, pending the investigation itself. And then we understand then that he was seen in the premises of the institution, Nelson Mandela University. What's the current update thus far with the case?
Akukabikho nto tata ecacileyo esiyixelelwayo sisikolo neuniversity no-SAPS, but okwakaloku nje siyayazi ukuba ngongenelelo logushuzo lwabafundi kuye kwanyanzeleka ubana umntana asuswe kumagumbi esikolo. Uzawukhumbula ke tata ukuba uSesethu ukuze abe uyalala ulaliswe kuba akakhange abe uyaxelelwa by the investigating officer ukuba i-perpetrator has been released on bail. Kuba uzawukhumbula ubana uSesethu uyithethile le nto kumama wakhe ukubana mama ndimbonile on campus, ndacimana ndiyaphupha, ndimbonile even on the nearby shopping mall. Kulapho ke ngoku uSesethu yabatrigadi kubuye kwabangelishwa ke ukuba uyile ukuyokufuna ukuthuthuzela ngokwasemphefumlweni, kodwa ke isikolo abafaneleyo ukwenza loo nto bamnikeza iveki ezintathu ukubana adibane ne-counselling. Kulapho ke ngoku uSesethu esicinga into yobana she couldn't cope on her own. Side sebe silapha. Kodwa ke iuniversity ndizawuphinde nditsho tata ukubana siyayibona yena ilapha. Amapolisa ashukume ngokuskelenyewe iyofikelela kwiofisi kamama uFanda. Utata uMajola naye wabe hands on the case. Ndiyaqonda ukubana ukuba ngabi bingakhange ifumane le case le ndumasi ifumeneyo, ndingamlibelanga women the NPO ke kodwa yaba yiyo eyokuqala to leak the information to the public. Women for Change. Uyabona Women for Change ibenkulu indima ayidlalileyo, ibenkulu kakhulu. Ubuyajonga nangoku wonke umuntu ubujonga i-status updates bathetha nge-GBV 21st of November. Enkosi kakhulu tata.
All right, Nkosi kakhulu mama, and condolences to you and the family once again. Well, there you have it, Hugo. This is the family spokesperson really reflecting then on behalf of the family, even those very last moments of Sesethu, mentioning that she did in fact communicate with the mother, telling her that she had been spotting the alleged perpetrator on the premises of that institution before she then eventually, unfortunately, took her own life, upon in fact even noticing that the institution was allegedly not taking any steps to ensure her safety and also to ensure that she does not have to relive the moment that she had endured and encountered with that alleged rapist. Meanwhile, also the family spokesperson mentioning that the entire delegation of, well, not really the entire, but some of the delegation of the university itself has descended to Mthatha to also be a part and parcel of the funeral, pointing out the fact that Women for Change, an organization, is the only organization that ensured that this matter is brought afloat and that everyone gathers, in fact, for justice for Sesethu Mboza. Now, we are going to be beginning shortly then with the service of Sesethu, where different speakers will take to the podium to really reflect on her life, including the family itself and some of the students, and hopefully even the university itself, to sort of even pave the way forward as far as the investigation and where its progress is right now.
Liyema, Vumisa, we certainly hope that some of the questions that have been raised around this issue will be answered during the course of the morning. As I imagine, you'll get the opportunity to speak to some of those officials from the Nelson Mandela University.